What's up guys, I'm Brent with PrecisionLED.com, and here we have a 2016 Jeep Cherokee we're going to be performing an LED interior light installation on. Now the 2016 is part of the 4th generation Cherokee, so this installation will be compatible with all years 2014 to 2020. Today we're going to be installing on the front map, the rear dome, the vanity mirrors, the glove box, the trunk, the license plate, and the reverse lights. Today we're going to be installing a premium line 3D LED kit on the vehicle. Our premium line is about twice as bright as our standards and come with a frosted casing, which makes for better light distribution over our standard bulbs. All of our interior LED kits come with these 3 interior trim tools we're going to be using throughout the video. We have our serrated knife tool, our fork-shaped wedge tool, and our pointed wedge tool. So we're going to start by installing on the front map lights. Now, as you can see, I've already gone ahead and done the install on the passenger side, so I'm going to show you how to install on the driver's side. Now, these front lens, they actually don't come out, so in order to access the bulbs, we're going to have to remove this entire fixture. It is pretty simple though. We're just going to be taking the fork portion of the fork-shaped wedge tool. We're going to be prying from the nose of the vehicle. There are a couple tabs that hold this fixture into place. So we're just going to be prying that tool just in there, again, towards the nose of the vehicle. And then once you're wedged in there, you just want to pry outward. And just loosen those tabs up, just like so. And then once you can feel them release, just go ahead, work your way down until the other releases. Now these 2 tabs right here, these are the tabs that were holding the fixture into place. And these power cables right here, these are the front map lights. And again, as you can see, I have already gone ahead and done the install on the passenger side, which is this cable right here. So let's just swap out the driver's side. Now you just want to grasp this cable and just pull it directly outward. So you don't have to twist or anything like that. Just grasp the cable and then just pull it out. And now we have access to the bulb. And now let's just remove the bulb. Just be careful, if the light was on previously, it will be very hot. And here we have the LED that we're installing. So we'll just pop that in. Now these bulbs, they're non-polarity specific, so you can pop them in any orientation and they should come on without any issues. Now let's just test the light. Everything looks good. All right, so we'll just line up the power cable here into the socket and then just apply a little bit of pressure until it locks into place, just like so. And now we can just reinstall the fixture. Now we're first just gonna wanna line up these 2 clips here. There are actually a couple slots towards the rear of the vehicle. We're just gonna slide those clips in, just like so. And once those are in place, just apply a little bit of pressure towards those 2 tabs, towards the nose of the vehicle, until everything locks into place. Now we're gonna be installing on the rear dome light. Now, instead of just removing the front face lens here, we're actually going to remove the entire fixture. It is very simple. There's just a couple tabs that are holding it into place, which are right here towards the tail end of the vehicle. So we're just going to be using the fork portion of our fork-shaped wedge tool. We're just going to be prying. We're going to be prying just from the tail end of the fixture here, and you're going to fill those tabs inside there, and you just want to pry them down and then just pull outward just at the same time. And it should be very simple. And these right here, these were the tabs that we were actually prying down in order to release the fixture here. And as you can see here, we've actually already swapped out the passenger side to a LED. So now we can just swap out the driver's side, which is this power cable right here. So we're just going to grasp that, twist it counterclockwise, and then just pull out. And now just make sure the bulb isn't too hot. We'll just remove that with our hands. So here we have the LED, so we'll just pop that in. And then you could just reinstall this little clip here. Just want to line up the tabs on the clip into the socket accordingly. Just swivel it around until it's seated flush, and then you could twist the cable here clockwise in order to lock it into place. Just test the light. Everything looks good. So now we can just reinstall this fixture. You just want to line up these 2 clips towards the nose of the vehicle, just like so, and then apply some pressure on those rear tabs. So now we're going to be installing on the glove box light. We're going to be using the pointed portion of our pointed wedge tool in order to access the bulb. Now there's a tab just right here towards the passenger side door that we're going to be prying from. So you just want to take the pointed portion of the tool, and we're just going to be prying from inside that little opening here, and in turn you're actually prying down a tab and you're releasing the lens. So just pry that tab downward and then pull out, and the lens will release just like so. And now we have to access the halogen bulb that's inside of this casing. It's actually very simple. So we just need to remove this white casing that's towards the back of the lens here. So you just want to grasp the casing and just pry it outward. And now we have access to the halogen bulb. If you can see that right there. Now this light has been on for a while, so it's actually very hot. So we're just going to remove the bulb with a rag. So just reach in, grab the halogen bulb, and then pull it out. So here we have the LED bulb, so let's just pop that in. Everything looks good. So now let's just clamp down this rear plate here. And now we can reinstall the lens. Just want to install the cable side first. And once that's in place, just apply some pressure on this tab in order to lock the lens into place. So now we're going to install on the vanity mirror light. Now the halogen bulb, it is actually very simple to access just by removing these front lens here. But once you pop these lens off, as you can see right here, there isn't enough room in order to angle an LED bulb in order to lock it into the power socket. So the best way in order to install an LED bulb onto this is actually to remove the entire vanity mirror fixture, which is all of this casing around here. And it is a very simple process. You just want to take your tool, you're going to be prying from the bottom, and you're just going to be searching for a couple clips in order to release the lens, the fixture here. And then you just want to pry outward. So there's a clip that's released. You just want to work your way down, just like so. And now we have access to the bulbs here. And as you can see here with the fixture removed, we can just take an LED bulb, we can plug it directly in so that we have plenty of room to work and we don't have to deal with that small space. Now sometimes these T5 bulbs here, they're a little bit difficult to remove. But a trick in order to remove it a little bit easier is just to take a small piece of tape. You want to wrap it around the bulb, just like so. And then you just want to take the tail end of the tape here and then just yank the bulb out. So here we have our LED bulb, so we'll just pop that in. Now these T5 LEDs, these are the only ones that are polarity specific. So if you pop it into the power socket and it doesn't turn on like that, just take it out, flip it 180 degrees, and just reinstall. Now we'll just install on the opposite end. So now we can just reinstall the lens housing here. We're just going to want to first line up these two tabs here towards the top of the vanity mirror. Just like so. Once all of that's in place, just apply some pressure throughout the housing until everything locks into place. And lastly, we're just going to pop that lens cover on. So now we're going to be installing on the trunk light, and we're going to be using our pointed portion of our pointed wedge tool in order to access the bulb here. Now there's a small indentation just right here towards the nose of the vehicle that we're going to be prying from, and in turn you're actually prying down a tab which is going to loosen up this lens so that we can access the bulb. So we're just going to be prying down with the pointed portion of the tool and just pry that tab downward, and at the same time just pull outward and the lens should come loose just like that. Now we're just gonna remove this power cable here so that we can have easier access to the halogen bulb. And in order to do so, we're just gonna be taking, again, the pointed portion of the tool. We're gonna be prying this tab right here down, just like so, and then just pry outward. And the power cable should come loose, just like that. And now in order to access the halogen bulb, this is very simple. We're just gonna have to pull this plastic portion of the housing outward. And as you can see, there's the halogen bulb. Now this light was on previously, so this bulb is very hot. So we're just gonna be using a rag to remove the bulb. And here we have our LED, so we'll just pop that in. And once again, these bulbs, they're non-polarity specific, so just pop it in any orientation and it should work. Now you could just reconnect this plastic clip here and then reconnect the power cable. Everything looks good. So now let's just reinstall the lens. So just be sure to tuck the wire right here towards the rear of the vehicle. And once that's in place, we can just apply some pressure on this tab that's towards the nose of the vehicle, and you're all set. So now we'll be installing on the license plate light. Now we're gonna be using this point here that's on our serrated knife tool in order to access the bulb. So we're gonna be working on the driver's side bulb here, and there's a small tab that holds this lens into place. So you're just gonna be prying from this little indentation with that point. And you're just gonna kind of go in at an angle like so, and then you're gonna pry that tab downward, and then you just wanna pry outward, and the lens should come loose just like so. This is the tab that we're pushing on in order to release the lens. And in order to access the halogen bulb, we're just gonna twist this power cable here counterclockwise and then just pull out. And so now we have access to the bulb, so we're just gonna remove that. So here we have the LED that we'll be installing. So we'll just pop that in. So now we'll just take the power cable here. We're gonna line up these tabs accordingly into the socket, just like so. And then twist the power cable here clockwise in order to lock it into place. And now we can just reinstall this lens. So we're first just gonna wanna line up the cable side right here. And you're just gonna want to keep this indentation portion towards the center of the vehicle, and then just apply some pressure on that tab, and you're all set. So now we're gonna be installing on the reverse light. We're gonna be using our fork-shaped wedge tool in order to access the bulb. So what we're looking at here is this right here. This is the inside paneling of the trunk light. And in order to access the reverse bulb, we're just gonna have to remove this cover plate right here. Now, this plate is actually fairly simple to remove. You just wanna be sure to pry from the top corner right here of the plate. So we're just gonna be taking our fork-shaped wedge tool. We're gonna be prying from that top, and then just pry outward once you're wedged in there. And you could just work your way around to loosen up the rest of the clips. So we're just gonna move this white cloth over to access the reverse bulb, which is this cable right here. So we're just gonna reach in, twist this cable here counterclockwise, and then just pull out. Just be very careful. And there it is, that right there, that's a reverse bulb. So let's just remove that. And so here we have the LED, so we're just gonna pop that in. Now this LED is very bright. If you have a backup camera, this is gonna increase the visibility on the camera a whole lot. So now that we have the bulb installed, let's just test it to make sure everything's working. All right, so everything looks good. So now we can just take the reverse bulb. We're just gonna be, again, lining up these 3 tabs appropriately into the socket right here. So you can just swivel the power connector around until everything is seated flush, just like so. And then twist the power connector clockwise until it locks into place. And don't forget to put this white pad back. So now we can just reinstall this back plate here. We're just gonna want to first line up these 2 tabs towards the bottom of the rear trunk liner. And once those are in place, just go ahead, apply some pressure until the rest of it locks into place.
And that's the end of the installation. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us at help@precisionled.com, or you can reach us online and submit a support ticket at www.precisionled.com/contact. Now, like we said before, please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video or enjoyed the process for what we do. It really does help us out when we make the next one, knowing that there's people out there watching the videos. Have a good one.